One of the most popular topics that we cover every year is the poor man plot. And this is a food plot that you can create using a pretty limited budget, hand tools, and a lot of sweat equity. So these are, they've become very popular with our viewers because people can produce a poor man plot almost anywhere. I also know that it's really simple to make a small plot like this on land that you have permission to hunt. It may not even be land that you own. Farmers aren't opposed to letting you make a little 1/8 or quarter acre food plot in an old opening. So take advantage of these opportunities because we've had great success hunting over these little small food plots. It's just something that will concentrate the deer as they're moving through an area, bring them within bow range, hold them there for a few minutes. Just it's a focal point for that area within your property. So we're gonna dive into those, how we make the poor man plot this week. And then we're gonna come back again next week and actually go through the steps of actually doing it. This week, we're just gonna prep it. And we were on location earlier, and the spot that I've selected, it's actually gonna be 2 spots. I'm gonna make an additional food plot on the other side of the creek. The first side of the creek is gonna be a small, maybe about a 1/8 of an acre food plot. On the other side of the creek is going to be a larger, maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 acre food plot. And we're gonna call that one the rich man plot. So we're going to use a bunch of equipment that we've got around here that one of my friends brought over to let us use. It's a lot of Caterpillar equipment with attachments. We're going to use the tractor. We're going to till up the ground. We're going to do things, you know, the way that you would do it if you had no worries about equipment and you had a bigger budget. So obviously if you don't have a friend with this equipment, you can go to the cat rental store or someplace like that and you can pick up this stuff and you can actually do this yourself. You can make a rich man plot. You don't have to own all the equipment to do it. Okay, so steps of the poor man plot. First thing we're doing that we did earlier was spray it. We sprayed both sides. We sprayed the poor man side and the rich man side. We want to make sure that we've killed the vegetation in those areas. That means getting down to the grass level, spraying the brush, you know, just basically killing everything within the perimeter of the zone that we want to call our food plot. One of the early steps you would use if you're going in there to a spot that had some, say, saplings or slightly larger trees, you're gonna need a chainsaw. We'll come back and we'll cut the stuff out the next time we go in to actually prepare the poor man plot. We'll take the chainsaw with. But the first trip was just to go in, spray these locations, get them killed, because it takes about 10 days to 2 weeks in order for the vegetation to die, to dry down, to the point where we can then burn it, and that's our next step. Burn the vegetation, the debris off the plot, and that allows us to get good seed to soil contact when we spread the seed out. So, you know, prior to seeding, we're also going to do some fertilizing, and in some cases, we'll put down lime. So there's a multi-step process here. First, you kill it, then you want to burn it off and clear the debris so you can get good seed to soil contact. And you're going to seed it and fertilize it and potentially lime it if your pH is too low on the plot. On the rich man side, the one that we're using is going to be a perfect example of you know, the obvious benefits of using the equipment, because there's a ton of brambles and raspberries and it's just a wicked spot that would be super hard to clear by hand, but it's going to be a really cool food plot. It's the perfect place to use the equipment to clear. And obviously here we're just going to kill it. We're going to come back and just mow everything out of there. Then we'll come back and till it, and we'll run the tiller through, we'll clean everything up, make a perfect seed bed, and then we'll spread the seed and fertilizer and lime at that point. So if you come back again next week, we're going to actually, weather permitting, be out in the field with the equipment and burning off the poor man plot and preparing the rich man plots and show you the contrast between the two. And the cool part is they're right on both sides of this creek. So I can expect that someplace in that creek, there's going to be a perfect tree stand location, possibly a spot where I can put the redneck blind, because no doubt there's going to be some swirling winds down in this valley. But one way or the other, I'm sure that we're going to be able to hunt this, and we'll be able to see how the deer utilize both sides of the creek, the poor man side and the rich man side.